Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about the following topics which are taken with relevant to the date of 28th of June 2025, and the topic taken for today's discussion is first is the Jal Jeevan mission, which was recently in news because of the revenue minister recently issued critic or direction for taking stringent action against irregularities happened in the implementation of this mission and to ensure the accountability and transparency in the implementation of this Jal Jeevan mission, and the current status of vaccination and the prevalence of zero dose children in India. And the third topic for the discussion is the secularism and socialism is news because of the recent questioning of these two words in the constitution preamble, especially in the preamble by the RSS functionary or the RSS leader, general secretary. And the fourth topic is the Registrar General of India is in news because he recently issued directives for registering of births and deaths in India. And the fifth topic is the Project Elephant, which was recently completed its first phase of survey in the northeast region. And the sixth topic is the Keeladi controversy that is in news because of the recent excavation and the report released with respect to the Keeladi. And the seventh topic for discussion is the ceasefire happened in Israel and India because of the various conflict happened in that zone. This topic of Jal Jeevan mission was in news because the revenue minister recently reiterated or assured to maintain transparency and to eliminate irregularities in the implementation of Jal Jeevan mission and to ensure accountability and transparency across the implementation of this Jal Jeevan mission across Indian states. And what is Jal Jeevan mission? Jal Jeevan mission is India's flagship mission for the delivering of potable water to every household, and it was launched in the year of 2019 of August 15 by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and it comes under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. And the goal of this mission, Jal Jeevan mission, is to provide functional and portable tap water to all rural households by the year 2024, but recently it got extended to the year 2028. And the motto of this Jal Jeevan mission is Har Ghar Jal, that is water for every household. And the objective of this Jal Jeevan mission is to deliver 55 liters per capita per day, that is LPCD, of safe potable drinking water to every rural household. And the other major objective of this Jal Jeevan mission is to ensure the potable water or the drinking water needs to be of certain standard, that is Bureau of Industrial Standards of 10,500 quality standards that needs to be meet out the BIS standard of 10,500, and it has to be regular and in a sustainable manner, that is in the long run it's need to be provided along with the rural household, and it needs to be focused more on drought prone areas and the quality affected areas which are in need of potable drinking water, and also to the public institutions where the water need was more. And what are all the features of this Jal Jeevan mission is that it is in a collaboration with the community, also with the communities like Gram Panchayats and also the village water and sanitation committees. It is in collaboration with these committees to implement this Jal Jeevan mission to every household, and to emphasis on source sustainability, that is the source of water is more important for the provision of water to every rural household in a proper and regular manner. And it also contains the provision for inclusion of grey water reuse and also the water conservation along the source. And this Jal Jeevan mission also features a specific feature called water testing. Water testing, that is, the potable drinking water needs to meet certain standards, so it needs to be tested in an intermittent way for its safety and maintaining standards. So the water quality testing needs to be done with the help of field testing kits by the trained women personnel along the village panchayats and also by the implementation ministry itself. And it also has to be in convergence with the multiple schemes along the process of implementation. That is, it needs to go hand in hand with the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, and it also go in hand with the Swachh Bharat mission, and it also helps to upgrade or elevate the process of implementation more viable. That is Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin specifically, and it also needs to be in line with the integrated watershed management plan and along with the other schemes of implementation. As of now, the progress of this Jal Jeevan mission is as follows. That is, as of now, that is 15.60 crore rural households has been covered. That is approximately around 80% of rural households, and 3.23 crore households will be in from 2019, and it was implemented along 11 states and UTs with union territories with 100%. It has achieved 100% tap water coverage under 11 states and union territories. And other major progress that accomplished by this Jal Jeevan mission is that it serves 9.32 lakh schools and 9.69 lakh Anganwadis. Along with that, it has established around 2,162 labs for testing the potable water, and it also got trained 24.80 lakh, that is around 25 lakh women people got trained under this program for maintaining the standard and quality of potable drinking water that to be delivered under this scheme. And the funding of this scheme is mainly a centrally sponsored scheme, and the funding for northeastern states and Himalayan states is around in the ratio of 90:10, and for UTs it is 100% 100% centrally sponsored, and for other states other than northeastern states and Himalayan states, it will be shared in the ratio of 50:50. And the budget for the year of 2025 to 26 is around 67,000 crores. And one more specific feature of this funding of this program is the mission is that it got additional funding from three major institutions or three other organizations specifically, like it got the additional grant of amount from 15th Finance Commission, that is grant from Finance Commission for water and sanitation under water and sanitation measure, and it got its contribution from community itself, that is we have discussed earlier from the village panchayats and water sanitation committees on their village, and it got the contribution of 5% to 10% based on the region, and it also got additional funding for the implementation of this program to specific areas like from CSR funding, that is corporate social responsibility, and international development assistance, that is from banks of international nature like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, like that. This program got additional funding. Moving to the prelims practice question, the prelims practice question for this Jal Jeevan mission is that consider the following. First statement, it aims to provide functional tap water connections to all rural households. The first statement is absolutely right because it is the objective of this mission. And the second statement, it is a centrally sponsored scheme with 100% funding by the central government to the union territories. The second statement is also correct because it is a centrally sponsored scheme, and under union territories, the union territories got 100% sanction or the 100% funding from the central government. Only the Himalayan and northeastern states will cover under the funding scheme of 90:10, and the other states excluding Himalayan and northeastern states is 50:50. So in this question the both statement is correct, so the answer is C, both 1 and 2. In this topic of vaccinating India on zero dose children, that is in news because of the prevalence of zero dose children, that is the children who does not even taken the immunization that is provided initially for the immunization under the immunization program is higher in the Indian society. And it is in specifically news because the India possesses second highest number of zero dose children in the according to the world status in the year of 2023. And it also even though the improvisation happened in the immunization program across the globe, India lacks its status, or India lacks its criteria for meeting out its immunization agenda 2030 goals. And to specifically this immunization agenda 2030 focus morely on the vulnerable groups like extremely poor or who are in poverty, and the tribal areas or tribal peoples, and who are in the migration to urban areas, and to certain religious minority groups. And according to what is zero dose children is that children who have not received the first dose of DTP vaccine that is covered under the immunization program initially for the child after the birth, that is the diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis vaccine, which was to be injected or to be provided to the children after birth as an initial immunization to the child. And it is an indicator for the immunization category which is in equity with to reach that is for the reach of the immunization to the every children born. And according to the global trend from 1980s to 2023, this vaccination or the immunization program got the coverage has been doubled, and it also uncovers six major other diseases other than DTP vaccine. And the global zero dose children rate has also been dropped to around 6.2 percentage. And basically or holistically, the majority of the zero dose children are from the area of which are in conflict affected, or which are of less developed or low resource countries. With respect to the Indian point of view or the perspective of India, in the year of 2023, according to the statistics, the prevalence of zero dose children is around 1.44 million, which is slightly or up to a certain rate of increase from the earlier 2022 status, which is 1.1 million. And India's birth rate is around 23 million births in the year of 2023, which is the highest in numbers according to the global status. And with the perspective of India, that India is neither conflict affected or nor the resource rich. It is a moderate country, is a developing nation, but the scenario of zero dose children prevalence is high. And with respect to the high prevalence and India, the large states covered under the zero dose prevalence children are Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat respectively. And other specific area of high prevalence is that northeast states of India, that is Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh. and specifically to the vulnerable groups of India, that is poor households and the mothers who have the low literacy and who has not aware about the vaccination program or the immunization program. And specifically the vulnerable groups are majorly covered under scheduled tribes, that is they may not be get aware of this immunization program, and some religious minorities like Muslims. And socio-economic groups also has the low awareness about this immunization program. And there is an gender sensitization or the gender discrimination also prevalence in both rural and urban areas. And the prevalence of low immunization happened in a stark difference between rural and urban areas, because rural areas got dwindling numbers or the low rate of immunization program. And in the slide on there is a progress status beside me, that is from the 1992, the status of coverage of low zero preference, the status of the coverage of zero. Beside me is the list of progress that shown from the year of 1992. The coverage of zero dose children from the year 1992 got dwindled. That is, it got increased in coverage from 33.4 percentage to 1.4 million in the year of 2019, but it got slightly increased in the year of 2023 around 1.44 million. And as we discussed earlier, the government has to focus more on the tribal and remote areas for its holistic coverage, and it also has to focus on the urban slums with abundant migrants got settled in that urban slum areas. And it also has to combat the vaccine hesitancy that is prevalent among the marginalized communities in the society, to make them include to in the program of immunization program. And the immunization agenda of 2030 goal has to be halving or the cutting down of zero dose children from the 2019 levels by the year of 2030. And India has a specific goal to reduce the number from 1.4 million to 7 lakhs by the year of 2030. Moving to the prelims practice question, the question is who WHO are that is who are referred to as zero dose children. Option A, children who receive vaccine with zero efficacy, which is absurd statement, so the first statement is incorrect. Children who have received only one dose of DTP vaccine, which is also incorrect. Children who have not received even the first dose of the DTP vaccine is correct, because we have discussed earlier. That is the criteria for the zero dose children. Children who are born in areas with zero immunization center, that is incorrect. So the answer is C. Children who have not received even the first dose of the DTP vaccine. Moving to the next topic, the topic for this discussion is that recently the two words, that is socialism and secularism, is in news because of the criticism or the questioning of these two words by the RSS General Secretary Dattaria Hosbale on the occasion of the marking of 50th year of incorporation of emergency in the year 1975. And he also termed or questioned because that this two words, that is secularism and socialism, is not a part of Ambedkar's drafted original constitution and were incorporated or introduced into the constitution at the time where the constitution or democratic institutions were very in a weak state. And he also called for the review of this continued relevance of these two words, especially to the in the Indian constitutional context. And what is socialism, and what is the relevance in today's context is that it is a socio-economic ideology that is promotion, that is meant to be promote of the public ownership of key sectors, which is the basic value we follow from the earlier days, but it got evolved in current context. And it also need to focus, the socialism is focused on the reduction of inequality by promotion of equitable distribution of resources, that is wealth redistribution, and which in turn promotes the welfare of the weaker sections, especially by uplifting the poor from the poor and marginalized section. And the focus of this socialism is that it needs to be in the collective welfare over the individual's profit or the individual obtaining more resource. And with the context of India, the socialism is somewhat altered or got evolved to the situation of India. That is, in India, we follow a process of mixed economy. Likewise, the socialism is also in the mixed context, that it got go in hand with the public sector as well as the establishment of private enterprise. And the primary focus or the emphasis of this socialism in India will be to become a welfare state, along with the empowerment of India in the world context, in the economic lines, as well as in the reduction of poverty and the upliftment of educational progress, and in the progress of job creation also. And this socialism in India got reflected in the articles of 38 and 39 of DPSP, and which seeks to ensure the social justice without ideological control. That is rigid ideological control. We don't follow any rigid ideological control, but we follow certain principles of socialism in the Indian constitution. And this socialism, the word socialism got included in the preamble through the amendment of 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, which is during the period of emergency. And two words got included in the 42nd Amendment, that is socialist and secular, between the line called sovereign and democratic in the preamble. And does it makes relevance or sense today? We have to analyze in the deep manner. That is, positive context or from the pros or the arguments in favor of this word socialism is that it reinforces the equality, dignity, and social justice provided, which is strong idea to support this socialism. And it also align with the right to equality and Article 21, which is an added advantage, and which also reflects the value of socialism. And it also validates welfare scheme like MG Narega and Food Security Act, which is basically for the upliftment of poor, and also creates employment generation alongside the upliftment of other various sector and the equitable distribution of resources. And the arguments against or the cons of this word secularism is that socialism is that it is ideologically outdated, and it got inundated in major socialistic following countries, which is liberal. In liberal economy, it is not relevant, which is somewhat acceptable. And it hinders the entrepreneurship movement or the entrepreneurship development, and it also hinders the investment from various sectors, which is which need to be taken into account in this context. And India's mixed economy formula or the format also reflect a balanced role of socio-economic values in the society. So it got more relevant. And this word socialism got included during the emergency period. So it got the legitimacy issue, or it questions the legitimacy of this inclusion. And by not taking the against or pro. There needs to be taken a balanced approach for this word, specifically the socialism. India has moved beyond this rigid socialism that it got evolved in this present context, and the core value of social justice is remain valid or vital till date, and the spirit of establishing a socialistic side of state is more in the spiritual context, or it got more relevance only if got implemented properly. Moving to the prelims practice question, consider the following statement regarding the term socialist in the Indian constitution. The term socialist was part of original constitution adopted in 1950, which is incorrect. We can easily assume this from the earlier slide, and it was added through the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act of 1976, which is a correct statement. Indian socialism promotes state ownership of all means of production, which is definitely an absurd statement and extreme statement. So the third statement is incorrect. So by eliminating the first and third statement from the option, we can easily arrive at the answer of A. Option A is the correct answer. In this topic, the Registrar General of India recently issued directives to all states and union territories in India to issue birth certificates before the discharge of child from the hospital, and it also especially targets the government hospital, which is handling over 50% of institutional deliveries. And the legal requirement of this in news, because this Registrar General of India's directives in news, because it increases the compliance capacity of the people by registering the births of a child within 21 days. And the Registrar General of India's office is comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs, which is established in the year of 1961, and it is headed by an bureaucrat, that is IAS officer, especially he or she may be in the capacity of secretary or additional secretary rank. And the office of Registrar General of India is called as Office of the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, that is ORGI. It plays a key role, or it mandates to do the work of planning, conducting and overseeing demographic data collection, that is specifically with related to the counting of numbers with respect to the population count, with respect to the maternal or birth rate, or maternal mortality rate, infant mortality rate, etc., by maintaining certain records of this. And it has to conduct certain census and provide data in the within Indian boundary. And what are the key functions of this Registrar General of India is that it has primary function of the Registrar General of India is to conduct census, which is a decennial process, that is to be taken every 10 years. The last census was taken in India in the year 2011, and the scheduled or the date on which the next date census has to be conducted was 2021, but it got delayed. And currently it got delayed because it needs to be a more comprehensive data that it accommodates socio-economic caste census also. And the key function of the Registrar General of India is to maintain records of certain data, which comes under various category. The first category is known as the maintenance of, or the keeping in account of the civil registration system, that is with respect to births and registering of births and deaths happened in the Indian territory. And it also has to implement the registration of Births and Deaths Act of 1969, under which the registration of births and deaths within the Indian boundary has to be registered. And also it has to maintain the National Population Register, which is also a major role for the Registrar General of India to maintain, under which the citizenship rules has to be enforced, and it has to maintain the national population register under the citizenship rules of 2003. And it also has to provide vital statistics for the efficient functioning of the government, as well as to know the current status of India's position according to the demographic value. That is, it has to publish the sample registration system data. With the sample registration data system data, it has to publish the birth rate, death rate, and infant mortality rate, etc., in for the government to know the progress of certain demographic values. And with respect to the RBI's directive, which was given recently, which improves the compliance of the registration of births in India, and the registration of birth need to be done before the discharge of child from the hospital. And this proposed amendment has to be only done in the online manner, which is digital only, for births as well as deaths. Issue of births and death certificates has to be provided only in the online mode. And this online mechanism is prevalent or introduced first in the 2021 census, which was not released yet, which was not conducted yet, because uh, if it got conducted, it will be the first digital census happened. And it also has to be go in hand with the integration of Aadhaar with this demographic data to ensure more compliance, and to maintain a certain level of accuracy by accounting people by registering births and deaths. What is specifically, we have to know what is sample registration system. It was started in the year 1964 to 65, and it provides annual and reliable demographic data with respect to the demographic population of India. And the key statistics provided or published by this sample registration system by the Registrar General of India is the crude birth rate, crude death rate, and infant mortality rate. As I was not a numerical known person, I can't able to dissipate what is the crude birth rate, crude death rate, and infant mortality rate. And please be touch with the numbers for more understanding about the statistics. Moving to the prelims practice question, with reference to the Registrar General of India, consider the following statement. It is a constitutional body under the Article 253. This Article 253p is specifically dealt with municipality. So the first statement is incorrect, and the Registrar General of India as an organization will not be considered as a constitutional body. And so this first statement is incorrect. And the second statement, it is responsible for conducting the decennial census of India. As we discussed earlier, the second statement is the primary function of this primary mandate of this Registrar General of India. So the second statement is correct. And the third statement, it supervises the implementation of the Registration of Births and Deaths Act. As we discussed earlier, this also a correct statement. This Registrar General of Body of Registrar General of India has to implement the Registration of Births and Deaths Act of 1969. So the by eliminating the first from the statement, we can arrive at the answer of 2 and 3. Moving to the next topic. In this topic, we are going to discuss about the Project Elephants, the recent census that is taken in the northeastern regions of India in a phased manner. That is the completion. This completion phase is called as phase 1. And what is Project Elephant? It is launched in the year of February 1992 by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And the primary aim of this Project Elephant is to conserve the population of Asian elephants, that is Elephas maximus, in the Indian environment. And the objective of this Project Elephant is to protect the Asian elephants from being poached and from the loss of habitat. And it also has to ensure the habitat zone for the elephant to popularize, and it also needs to protect the corridor and to conserve the population of this elephant. And it also has to mitigate the conflict aroused between the human elephant interaction, and it also propagate or to dive into deep research and training of forest officials and other village peoples to who are in direct conflict with the elephant, who are in and around the elephant corridor zones. And the elephant veterinary care has to be enhanced. And the main feature of this project elephant is that it is the centrally sponsored scheme since 2015. Before it got its share from state also, but after 2015 it got 100% funding from the central government, and it needs to be in collaboration with the center and state to mitigate and propagate the corridor more viable for the elephant to thrive. And the focus will be on the wild and as well as the captive elephants in the Indian environment. And it also has to be encouraging for the encourage for the community involvement to create a cohesive environment for the elephant population to thrive. What are all the key projects come under this project elephant? Or there is a according to the latest census of 2024, there are to be an estimated amount of 33 elephant reserves in India along the 14 states of India, and there is a number of 101 elephant corridors has been identified. And there is a program called Gaji Yatra that is creating awareness campaign national wide for conservation of this elephant population. And under Mike program, that is exclusively for the killing or the poaching of elephant for its resources. And Surakshit Hathi Abhiyan is a separate dedicated program for mitigating the conflict or the collision of elephant in the railways or the rail line. And it also has to mitigate or the conflict aroused between the human and elephant by creating a barrier or fencing or creating an alert program, or proper compensation need to be provided under this project elephant. According to the recent review happened in the project elephant, there is an increase in number of human elephant conflict and collision. According to the human elephant conflict, more than 500 humans has been killed, and over 100 plus elephants got killed in between the human elephant conflict. And the conflict hotspot identified in this review is that Assam, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh is the major conflict zone, with around 40% of cases happened in this zone alone. And there is an increase in number of train collisions, that is according to the 3,452 kilometers of railway survey, 77 high risk zone has been identified. And along this rail zones, 186 elephants got killed from the year of 2010 to 2022. And the solution arrived for this collision, for mitigating this collision, is that early warning program, speed control and underpass, creating an underpass. Moving to the prelims practice question, the practice question for this session is that consider the following statement: Karnataka has the highest elephant population in India, which is correct. And the second statement is Assam, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh accounts for nearly 80% of the human elephant conflict, which is factual, but this is incorrect because nearly 40% of human elephant conflict aroused from those zones. So the second statement is incorrect. So can arrive at the answer, that is A, one only. The archaeological site of Keeladi is in news because of the recent controversy with respect to the recent reports released by the famous archaeologist Amarnath Ramakrishnan over the Keeladi excavation site. And this Keeladi excavation site, archaeological site, is in Madurai, Tamil Nadu, and it's situated alongside the river of Vaigai. And the proposed date of this extinction, or the prevalence of this Keeladi excavation site, will be dated around 5th century BCE to, that is, before Common Era, to 3rd century Common Era CE, which is more aligned to the then Sangam era. And the most significant values, or the significance of this Keeladi site, is that it is more urbanized, that is, prevalence of more urban culture, and the people around them, around the Keeladi excavation site, are known to be the most literate persons. And the society is based on craft and artifacts and arts. And what are all the key archaeological findings on which was excavated from this Keeladi site are, there are over more than 7,500 artifacts, graffitis, potteries, tools, and other materials has been excavated from that site. And there will be an evidence of direct linkage between urban Tamil culture alongside the Gangetic sites of culture that prevalent in that area. And there is an source, or evidence for the literacy, and the society is more secular, and they are not in line with the Vedic culture. They are more secular, and they are contrary with the Vedic culture traits. And this Keeladi archaeological site has created a narrative, or the shift in the cultural assessment of this area, because it directly challenges the north centric or Ganga dominated civilization narrative. It directly it directly in contradiction with the narrative set by the people, or the provided evidence in prevalence in India, that is Ganga dominated civilization. And it also revives the identity of Tamil and Dravidian people. And it has also the direct archaeological evidence with respect to the Sangam literature prevalence in that time. What made the Keeladi excavation site a more controversy is that this Keeladi site report was recently released by or published by the famous archaeologist Ramakrishnan, has not accepted by the Archaeological Survey of India, as it objects the chronology, and it sought the Mr. Ramakrishnan to rewrite it accordingly. But Mr. Ramakrishnan strongly objected to rewrite the report published by him, and he got transferred to the Delhi, and which led to the more controversy, and creates more repercussion over this issue. And specifically, Tamil Nadu government opposed this stance taken by the Archaeological Survey of India, and it strongly backed the archaeologist Ramakrishnan. And it makes the tussle over the center state power over the archaeological site control. And it also has raised the question of decentralization and the academic autonomy of this Archaeological Survey of India. What is the wider impact that needs to be understood, or what are all the impacts that happen because of these issues, that it directly in relevance with the academic freedom, which is under influence or interference by more of political nature, and our history or the heritage, the culture or being more politicized, which is in favor of the certain class, or by the power who hold the power, which brings the historical narrative to a wrong direction, and it may harm the India's global academic credibility as a whole. And what are all the way forwards provided or the suggested for this issue specific is that there will be a more independent review of the major excavation sites of more importance, and the authority provided for excavating the certain site has to be decentralized, and the state has to provide some autonomy in this matter. And the archaeologists who are involving in this sensitive projects need more legal safeguards and as well as the economic safeguards. And we need to promote more public communication with regard to this, and we have to make more promotion with respect to science literacy and transparency in this matter. With this, we conclude this topic, and the conclusion for this Keeladi excavation site is that the Keeladi represents not just history but plural cultural fabric of this nation, and this archaeological site and archaeology must stay scientific. It needs to be apart from a political view, that is apolitical, and needs to be more inclusive. And the nation's true identity is rely on embracing the diversity in the society as well as the historical roots. Moving to the mains practice question, the practice question for this Keeladi excavation site is that the Keeladi excavation controversy highlights the intersection of archaeology, politics, and federalism in India. Discuss the broader implications of the Keeladi findings and the recent institutional disputes, suggest measures to ensure academic integrity and federal cooperation in heritage conservation. With the recent ceasefire established between Israel and Iran, which was recently in direct conflict with them, and Israel and its allies like US has got a significant blow to bought a significant blow to the Iran's economy as well as the military. This article is critically analyzed the ceasefire established between Israel and Iran, which was recently brokered or mediated by the established by the U.S. President Donald Trump, and it follows the this conflict has been followed by the hostilities happened after the Hamas launched the operation called Operation Tufan al-Aqsa, which can be asked in the prelims as a question, like Operation Tufan al-Aqsa was recently in news, which was what like that they may ask. And with respect to this conflict, the ceasefire will be only a tip of an iceberg, but it may contains a potential disruptive conclusion when it got its course not in the direct correct manner. And what is the current situation that present in the West Asian region, or the Israeli Defense Forces along with the US has achieved strategical and tactical victories in the areas of Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria, but it significantly suppressed or weakened the Hamas region, but the area still remains under tense. And the Iran's nuclear program was specifically targeted by both the Israeli Defense Forces and the US, but and it also targets the scientists and other eminent personalities who involved in the production of nuclear enrichment as well as the nuclear power program that was taken by the Iran, specifically by this IDF and US and its allies. But the current stance of Tehran, that is Iran, will not be changed, which will further proceed with the creation or enrichment of this nuclear enrichment program. And what are all the challenges that the Iran possess, or beside Iran, is that the Iran's economy is significantly struck hard by the US sanctions, and diplomatic isolation created by this Western nations like Israel and US and its allies. And there may be a probability of succession in the Iran of its supreme leader, that is Ayatollah Khamenei, is expected to be replaced by his son Mujtaba. And apart from the Iran stance, there may be a dilemma in the area of Western regions like US, Israel, and its allies, because by pushing back Iran without creating a power vacuum will lead to overturn the actions taken by this US and its allies against them. And the ideal scenario, that is a West-leaning regime of this Tehran, by surpassing them, will create an adverse reaction over the democracy and regional integration on that area. And there may be a dilemma in the Iran's internal dynamics also, because of the present corruption, poor governance, and high inflation rate prevalence in the Iran, and the youth alienation will also create a direct conflict between their US and its allies. And with respect to Gaza, despite the ceasefire happened in the between Iran and Israel, the Gaza faces humanitarian crisis as well as political uncertainty in that area. And the recent proposal by the American President Donald Trump by to bring back Muhammad Abbas will also lack relevance in that area, because this Abbas got only low influence in that area. And we have to specifically focus on the India orientation and the India implication happened, or the implication for India, or India relies or specifically relies on the West Asia for its energy resource as well as trade, and it also has a large group of diaspora over Western countries, and it needs to take a balanced and non-aligned approach to avoid certain entanglement or get into controversy, because it will create a sectarian conflict on that area as well as in India. It should be in a promote multilateralism, and it should stick back to the non-alignment movement or the non-alignment nature of India to establish a regional stability. The conclusion for this topic is that while the ceasefire has recently reduced the violence in that on that conflict zone, which may not go in hand with the underlying ideological rivalries in that area, and it also needs to focus on the leadership transition on that area to keep the Western Asian nations volatile. And the strategic diplomacy, patience, and cooperation among the global powers and the global leaders are essential to prevent a future escalation on that zone. The main practice question for this topic is that what are the key challenges to peace and instability in West Asia today? With this, we conclude this today's topic for discussion. Hope you guys like the video. If you like the video, please give us a like and share your positive comments and suggestions in the comment section given below. And please share the video to your friends and stay in touch with us by subscribing to our Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel.